Welcome aboard the Heavy Metal Truckers, where we give our thoughts and perspectives on all things heavy, even if you don't like it. We are your hosts. So, Frosty is at the tail end of dealing with this shit, hopefully. I know I keep saying he'll be back hopefully next week, and maybe he will, maybe we won't. He won't. I don't know anymore. I don't even think he knows anymore. So,
poor guy.
But it's an unfortunate situation that happens in this line of work. So, yeah. But in this video, we are taking a listen to a request from the pit. And this request is Lord of the Lost. Bazaar.
Yeah.
Yes. And
yes.
This was graciously requested by...
I'm assuming it's Connie R7Y. CONNY -R7Y.
Nice. You just said Connie, and all I could think of was Connie from King of the Hill, and I'm thinking, she requested something. Anyways, so yeah, guys, we will get into this Lord of the Lost, this track.
Vendors of secrets and sellers of sin, veils out of truth on the faces within, cages of nightmares and dreams on display, each with a price that the soul must repay. Wolves and wolves, serpents and silk, traders of time for a taste of spoiled milk. Clockwork illusions ticked up through the night, whispers of wonder and shadows in flight. Puppeteer strings, they twist and they wind when the sane lose their mind. Children of the night, in turmoil we unite. The wonders of our world to nightmares conspire, everything's when and nothing is why. Cobblestones whisper the tales of the past. Crimson skies, moons made of glass, reflections of fear in the faces that pass. A place out of time where realness won't last. Always full of whispers of futures untold, treasures of torment and pleasures of old. Lanterns of sorrow, the flickers surreal, showing the truths that don't dare to reveal. Walls with the phantoms, the depths are divine, in the space where the lost and the found intertwine. Children of the night, in turmoil we unite. The wonders of our world to inspire. no one lost behind. Children of the night, in turmoil we unite. The wonders of our world to
Okay.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Is it me, or did the lead vocalist give off strong David Bowie vibes?
So that's one option. However, he reminded me a shitload of Goth Minister.
Oh, sorry. My headset just spoke to me at the same time. Threw me
cool.
off for a second.
No, but he gave me a load of Goth Minister vibes. Or like just his voice just reminded me so much of Goth Minister.
Honestly, it wasn't so much the voice of anything of David Bowie, but more his look.
His look and like just like the more darker.
Some of his aneurysm, yeah.
Because I started wondering to myself, I'm like, is this more of a music video or just performance arts with a track added to it? And not to say that's
an interesting video.
Not to say it in a bad way, just an observation.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad thing. I'm curious to see if we agree or disagree on this one.
This will be interesting.
I am going to say this, though. I think Frosty would actually enjoy this.
Yes, he absolutely would.
And to be honest with you, for the most part, I enjoyed it too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I go as far as saying I loved it. There were parts of it that I did. It definitely has piqued my interest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really curious to see what else they do or they've got out there.
Correct.
Because there was a lot I did like. I thought his cleans were decent. Even his harshes were good. What was I gonna say? I liked the feel of the song. It had a very, like the atmosphere, I guess is what the atmosphere of the song. That was good. It did have, and this is the part where I'm curious to see where you come in, because to me there was a little bit of a modern feel to it.
Okay.
Which I know often you're not really a big fan of.
And it kind of very depends on a bunch of context and a bunch of other influences as to my final thoughts on something like this.
Yeah. But I felt like they kept it, even despite that, I felt like they did enough to make it work and make it unique enough to where it worked for me. Like, I for the most part, I enjoyed it now. And I'm definitely curious to potentially hear more from them and to see, is this like a typical song for them? Or are they typically heavier? Are they typically lighter? Or where do they fall?
Yeah. So I will start with, not gonna lie, I was worried at the beginning because a lot of groups have recently been going more performance arts recently, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes they get a little too carried away with the performance arts and less focus on the music itself.
Right.
which of course, dude has fantastic stage presence in this regard. Can really pull off being a performer. But again, that left me a little nervous. Not to say that I don't like performance arts, but whenever you focus more on that than the actual music itself, then it begins to get into almost what I would consider indie territory, where then becomes a niche to where it's primarily the people that are blown away by the cinematography, and then the music becomes the second hand, which I prefer these kind of things to be coincided, just like with Lacuna Coil's I Wish You Were Dead. That was a perfect balance.
Mm-hmm.
This one was incredibly well balanced because it blended a lot of what I love, which is older gothic metal. We're talking old school Lacuna Coil, old school Evanescence, and it blended it with some of the industrial elements I'm very fond of that I get probably not a lot of people know about. And it did the industrial elements as touches and not just solely a subject matter of itself. So, and then it would have epic symphonic moments where it didn't consume the entire piece, but it accompanied it nicely. So the modern aspects of this I associated with what they're doing in an industrial format, and I really enjoyed it, actually. Again, the dude's cleans, it reminded me so much of Goth Minister, and I'm greatly enjoyed Goth Minister. Dark Side was, even though it's one of the more mainstream tracks, it's still a damn good track. And sometimes, even though I love black metal and I love just more as incredibly aggressive vocals, but not to the where they become a wall of sound. Just give me a straight, raw, disgusting vocal, and I tend to enjoy it. But yet, also, I appreciate and love someone that can do clean vocals that are well controlled and have solid balance, just because that also leaves potential to do some interesting stuff with it. So I greatly enjoyed what was here, and I'm vastly intrigued. Did they go, in my opinion, a little overboard with the visuals? Not gonna lie, to me they kind of did, but then again, I don't care for visuals all that much. Just with this kind of thing, it gets to a point of I feel like Marlin in Finding Nemo, where I'm just watching going, I think he's trying to tell me something, I just know it, because I only understand about half of what's going on, and then some artsy person in the back with a fucking Pinot Grigio or a Merlot was going, how could you not understand this? And I'm like, dude, because it's not fucking just there. I'm not trying to look 5 levels below and then trying to understand the psychology of his influence and them trying to bring that in. It's just, sorry, like, so unless I already know the subject matter, I don't go that deep into something like this. It's just, I'm an average Joe in that regard. The only time I really understand messages or meanings is whenever may relate to the occult, and that's just because I had done research on that for years. So yeah, I mean, visually they did phenomenal. Did it go to the point to where there's a lot of stuff I did not get the messages of? Absolutely. But that's just also because I was more focused on the instrumental and what was going on musically.
Music, yeah. I'm right there with Doppler. I was waiting to know what your perspective was on this. By far, I feel this is
definitely your area here. Doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't enjoy it though. That was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. It sounded like someone, like some band that I know, and I don't remember the name of the band. Yes, that's what it reminded me of. Mm-hmm. So not as deep as Goth Minister, but definitely reminded me of Goth Minister. True. Um, I kept feeling like there was aspects of like Avatar in here, maybe a little Behemoth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, straight tell that it's goth. Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that your wife had that feeling at all. I mean, if I had any sort of problem with it'd be the fact that like you heard Children of the Night more than most of the other stuff. So you switch off some of the lyrics a little bit, but other than that, I really have no problems with this. I'd like to, I'd like to hear like another single from them, see what they might have, and I, most of my feeling on it being drawn out is literally the whole repetitiveness of Children of the Night. Like I don't think they needed to repeat that as many times as they did. Maybe like once, twice, but like the multiples is just. So yeah, like I'll give you that. No, I don't necessarily think like if you took off like the back third of it, or like the front third, or even just take out those. Yes, I will definitely agree with that. With me feeling like with all of us feeling that like a third of it could have been taken out, that has no change for me still feeling like I want more from the song. I want more of the song. But like I feel like if they could have filled that in differently, it would have been an absolutely extraordinary song.
So yeah, I'm intrigued and would be fascinated to hear more from them. If we could get more requests from these guys and to see perhaps what are some of their more popular ones, or more. So what are some of the more underground or basically like underdog of their material, then we'd be fascinated to hear it. Yeah. Well, not just necessarily variety, but just what do they excel at, and what
Right. Yeah.
is for people that don't, what's the less common one. But yeah, I'd be fascinated to see what else is in their portfolio, you could say. But yeah, this is probably one of the more interesting requests we've had, and not in a bad way by any means. So yeah,
Not at all.
Keep it coming. Thank you graciously, Connie, for giving us this request. And until next time, guys, thank you for joining. If you had any opposition, please fight us in the comments. And until next time, whether musically, lyrically, or literally, keep rolling heavy.